Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is the astrological forecast for January 3rd through January 9th of 2021. Okay, now as this is a general forecast, it means it applies to approximately 8 billion people out there. So if something we're talking about doesn't seem to fit, absolutely take a look at your ascendant, your moon, your Mars, and your Neptune. All of these can be found on your natal chart. If you don't have one or you don't know where to find where yours sit, give me a call, but remember to let me know, contact me at one of the contact points below and let me know your birth date, the day, the month, and the year. Okay. From that, I'll be happy to look up any of the planets that you require. Not a problem there. Okay, and while we're talking about it, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you can get to the rest of the videos, because rest assured we're putting out a lot of information this year. And this isn't the only topic, but that's all marked clearly in the different videos. But let's get started, shall we? The first card, as always, is a general overview. This applies to everybody. Now, the first card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles says that money is changing gears. It is starting to improve. We're getting the economy rolling around. And when I talk about the economy, I mean the economy in your own household. But it's probably not moving as fast as you'd like at this point. So take the time to think things through. Because remember, money does not care one iota how much you've got. Doesn't care if you've got $1 or $100 million. A dollar is still a dollar. So think before you do anything. Remember, where it comes to money, money is logic. It operates only on a logic base. It does not care about whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. So, with this in mind, before you go buying something big or something important to you, take the time to think, do I require it right now, or can I work out how much it's going to cost and put the money aside so I'm not paying extra interest, so in a couple of months I can buy what I'm aiming for? Now, this is a hard lesson to learn for a lot of people, myself included. But it's telling you you do have the tools available to you. Either you personally have them, or somebody you know has them. For instance, the financial advisor at the bank. The odds are they've got an idea of how money works. At least you would hope so. Now, Aries, we have the hope. We have the star, indicating hope. Now, they say hope springs eternal. Well, it does, but the problem is, hope is not all that is required. If you desire something to happen, and you hope it works out, that's great. But if you don't take the time to plan it, if you don't take the time to talk to the necessary people, you may find that all the hope in the world didn't do you any good. It will become hope unfulfilled. Okay, so take the time to think it through. We'll try English. Whether you use paper or a computer, take the time to put the pros and cons down. Take a look at what you're aiming for. Break it down into smaller parts. That neat idea that take care of the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves is all too true. Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily, well, in this case, I'm really not the person to talk to about what you should invest in. Don't talk to me about that. I have no idea. I don't invest, aside from time. Now, Taurus. Taurus, we have the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands tells you clearly you've got the tools to make your life what you desire it to be. I've talked to a number of people that have gone, well, I'm getting too old to do that. I'll tell you, I have yet to see somebody that cannot do something, given they're physically still capable, no matter what their age. I mean, you think of Colonel Sanders, the chap that started in Kentucky Fried Chicken, now known as KFC. From my understanding, he was 65 years old when he opened his first stand. And I've always held on to that and gone, I desire to do something. And of course, being Taurus myself, way back in grade 10, I came up with an idea of a story I desired to write. Well, I'm 57 now. Okay, soon to be 58. And I finally got the first of the books from that series that I started writing back in grade 10, back when I was like 16, 17 years old. Right. Actually, I think it had been about 15. But anyway, I've actually got my first one in print. I never quit dreaming of it. I never stopped. And I'm still working on it. You too have dreams that you probably are looking at going, but nothing's happened with them. Well, the reason nothing will have happened is if you haven't taken the time to plan it properly. Now, your life may not be perfect. I mean, how you got to where you are is not half as important as what you do now that you're here. This is a new year. Everything else is behind you. You cannot change anything that's happened in the past, but you can take the tools you have access to, either the ones you personally have or the ones that you've got access to people that you know. Talk to them, get the guidance you require, and start making things happen. Gemini, what do we got? Gemini, we have the Four of Pentacles. This tells you that the cash flow is improving, but make sure you hang on to enough of it to take care of your own responsibilities. Now, the fact is, money is simply another form of barter. I'm obviously not in a good position to tell you don't help people, but I will tell you, you've got to take a look at the money that's coming in, the material stuff that you've got, and make sure you're taking care of you first. Do not start becoming selfish. Just don't overextend yourself. You spend all your money trying to help other people and then come up short on rent, you may have a problem to deal with that's just no fun. Okay. Now, Cancer. Cancer, we have the Three of Pentacles. And again, this shows a shift in finances. Clearly, the way things are looking here, the economy is starting to shift, but a lot of that is because people are now starting to think about, how do I desire my life to be better? I desire to get back to where I was. Myself, I'd like to never get back to where I was. Personally, I'm aiming for where I'd like to be, and I'm working towards that. I figure I've already gotten as far down the totem pole as I'd like to get. Thanks very much. I've seen pretty close to the broke side. Okay, so, Cancer, you are making headway. Follow your heart, but use your head to get there. If you're doing something nice already, what this shows, the recognition it tells you is coming in. If you're doing something nice, it will make things, you'll get the accolades, you'll get the pat in the back, the thank you. But for those of you, and there are some of you out there that are doing things that are not necessarily polite, they are not necessarily following karmic law, as in, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. If you're doing something negative, the truth of it is likely to come out this week. And rest assured, if it's really negative, people are not quite as forgiving as you might like, especially not now. With what people have gone through in the last year, this is definitely the time to really pick yourself up and go, is the path I'm following right now actually the best one? The best one for me. Is it going to result in what I'm aiming for? Okay. Now, Leo, we have the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups tells you that emotions are likely to be a little unstable. If you've been going through a lot of stress, which likelihood is probable, take a step back and take a moment to sit down and think about what you desire to have. Ask yourself, am I happy with where my life is right now? And what can I do to make the changes necessary to let those doors open, to let that positive stuff come in? Okay, your emotions are likely to be rather on the high side. So be aware of this. And for those of you that have a partner that is Leo, keep that in mind. If things are under stress, they may not be telling you. Wow, that was good. They may not be telling you just exactly what's bothering you. In all fairness, they may not know what really is bothering them. Okay, but take into consideration that emotions are a little bit unstable. They're a little amplified. Now, Virgo, we have the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords tells you that you may be feeling a little trapped right now. Things may be feeling a little sticky. You can't quite get where you're looking for. And you're standing there going, well, how did I get into this mess? Well, the reality is how you got into it is not half so as important as to where you go from here. Take a moment to assess where you're standing and ask yourself the easy question. What am I not content with? Don't worry so much about what you'd like your life to look like. That's great for dreaming. But in the immediate here and now, which is what we have to look at, it's the only time when we're looking at time. The here and now is the only time that you can make something happen. So look at where you're standing and ask yourself, I'm here. How do I move forward? If you don't really know, well, quite frankly, there are ways of getting it. Okay. Talk to the people around you, talk to the people you trust to get extra insight, because you may be facing a situation where, for instance, you're standing so close to a tree or to a wall that all you can see is that tree or that wall. You can't step back far enough because you don't know how to really get a look at the whole picture. So take a look at the people beside you. And again, the ones you trust, to give you some insight of what they're seeing. It may help you find a way forward. Now, Libra, we have the Six of Swords. Now, it's inverted. So what this tells you is you're still going through some rough time at this point. Not everybody is going to have a problem with it. You may already be moving forward, just not quite moving forward as fast as you'd like. But the Six of Swords, because it's inverted, does tell you you've got the ability, you've got the tools already in hand to be able to move forward, even if it feels like you're moving through mud or a swamp. Okay, you're still able to move forward, but again, reach out to the people around you. Okay, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you, and what you'll find happen is you can actually make things move forward properly. Okay, now, Scorpio, we have the Fool inverted, and what this boils down to is this. It means things will work out if you think. But if you keep putting your head down and running headlong forward without looking or without thinking, the odds are you're going to run right off the cliff. This tells you, the Fool tells you that things are shifting, that there is that protective innocence around you if you're treating people decently. Okay, you'll find it comes back. Karmic law has a real neat habit of coming back to either help or slap you right up alongside the eyeballs. If you're being nice to people and you end up on the edge of a cliff, basically in a place where you don't know where to go, if you're being nice, somebody is very likely to come along and give you a hand to pull you back onto the ledge so you can carry on. Okay, if you're being a problem child to the people around you, the odds are somebody's going to come by and push you off, or just simply leave you there to struggle until you fall off. Choice is up to you whether or not you do something with it, whether or not you reach out to work with people or to hurt them. I encourage you to reach out and work together, regardless of where you stand in life. Now, Sagittarius, we have the devil. Now, don't panic on that. The devil itself simply means the material world is a prominent focus for you right now. Take a look at what you've got in the material world and ask yourself this. Do you require what you've got? Okay, is the stuff you're hanging on to, are you essentially hanging on to it and thereby paying storage? Whether it's in your house and you're just paying for a house that's too big for you and you're just filling with junk, or do you have a storage unit that you're paying extra rent for stuff that you really either don't require or is not absolute keepsakes? Things from your childhood. You may have had the worst childhood on the planet in your eyes, but there's still some things that you may desire to hang on to or to remember. Remember, the way you are today is what has happened because of what you've been through. This does not make anybody worse or better than the next. Okay. Now, Capricorn. What do we got here? Capricorn. We have the Nine of Cups. Now, it shows it's inverted, which means the material world may be a little unstable around you. Picture having a house of cards built up. One wrong move, it can create a havoc. But it does show all the stuff is there. You've got the tools to make things work. Okay, it just means you've got to think things through. And remember, the fastest way to derail your logic is emotions. If your emotions are unstable, using logical maneuvers, using a practical approach can help stabilize things to make it easier to see where you're heading. So Capricorn, whether we're talking your home or we're talking business, think things through and really look at the tools that you possess or the tools that you have access to via people around you. Start putting things to work to start making your life into the life you desire to have. Okay, and whatever you do, for those of you that are dreamers, for those of you that have these great big goals, you're going, oh, I can never get there. Well, as long as you think you can never get there, the sad reality is you'll run into one problem after another getting there. Do not give up on your dreams. Okay, I strongly encourage you to start looking at your dreams as in, I've attained them. I'm going to get there. I'm just not going to quit. There's an old saying that goes, dreams don't die, just the dreamers. Okay, in your case, this may be the time to look at it and go, okay, I haven't made as much headway as I'd like to so far. So hold up, let's stop, take a look at where we are. Okay, right here is where I am right now. Now, what's my next step? To take one step, not to get to the end, just to get one step closer. Okay, now Aquarius, we have the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands tells you that there may be struggle around you, but again, it does show that you have already in your possession the ability to do, you've got the tools to get ahead. Now, the caution here is you may find your emotions are a little on the heavy side, because with the fact that there is so much stress going on that people are talking about out in the world right now, the Five of Wands tells you that you may be taking on more than what is yours to actually control. You can only control your own actions. If you're one of those rare people that can control somebody else's actions, for absolute certainty, be cautious that you're not forcing people to do what they don't necessarily desire themselves. And likewise, do not coerce them into it. It's very easy to mislead some people. The challenge is to know it's very easy to mislead some people and not go there. Okay, so Aquarius, you've got your work cut out for you, but you've got the tools in hand to make things happen. Now, Pisces, we have the Magician card. Now, the Magician card says, again, you have the tools in your possession. 2021 for you is going to be a fantastic year if you put your mind to it. Take the tools you've got, whether they're logical ones, whether they're creative ones, a combination of them. Okay, focus on creating the world you desire to have. But remember, if it's a positive world, people will come behind you and they'll support you. Okay, some of them may take your ideas and run with them themselves, and all of a sudden you get this kind of a domino effect of all sorts of things changing. If you're doing things in a negative fashion, as in forcing people either through coercion or fear, you may find that because emotions are a little more unstable right now, because they're going through that transition period, this may set things off in a very negative fashion for you. Okay, now the nice part about it, Pisces, is you have the ability to shine beyond belief. Well, in all fairness, it depends on your belief. If you believe you can make an impact, you'll be able to. If you believe that you're going to fail, sadly, you're going to set the deck in favor of you doing that. Now, the final card, and again, this applies to the whole package. Okay, the final card is the Three of Swords. Now, here's the thing about the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords indicates, in a lot of cases, it indicates heartache or a sense of loss. Well, here's the thing. Remember at the beginning we had the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles tells you you've got the tools to make things happen. Okay, but it tells you to use logic, to really think things through to make it happen. Okay, so that's where we start. If you think things through, there's no problem. If you don't do that, if you turn around and just run headlong into something based on emotion without the thinking, then you get the heartache. If you think things through, you get happiness. Okay, one day at a time, one step at a time, and you will get to where you're heading for. Problem is, if you're focusing on the positive, you get to the good side of where you're heading for. I.e., if you're caught in a flow on a river, if you focus on the positive side of working with the environment, you can paddle to shore. If you work against it, well, that water is going to pick you up and take you straight over the falls. So, this is where we're going to tie this one off. Okay, I thank you again for joining me. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. We really would appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel, as we've got more videos coming out all the time. And this way you get to hear what they are. Okay, and please absolutely share them with the people around you. So, until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sake, stay positive.